And first quarter action underway. Fraser to Stenhouse and comes back to Fraser. Stenhouse again is involved. So too is Fraser. Fraser. Good one there to Hermanson, who is offline, but into the hands of Lane Morrissey and converts the first goal of the afternoon. So 1 goal to zip, the way of the Demons. So now it's in the centre with Carroll. Good long pass to Gawley. And now Hargraves, who converts straight away and gets the instant response for Belgrave. 1 goal apiece. So back in the centre with Fraser. Fraser out to Stenhouse. Stenhouse laterally. Good one that was as well to Burns. Back to Stenhouse. Had a good start to this game. Fraser against Stenhouse. Good work rate. Good feed as well to Morrissey. And Morrissey gets a look at her second goal and makes no mistake. Gets the Demons back in front. 2 goals to 1. So Carroll again in the centre. Good one to Stapleton. Nearly turned over. Pull triggers out of play and will stay with Belgrave. So Carroll feeds into the goal circle for Gawley. Now it's into the hands of Stapleton. Comes back to Carroll. Comes out wide. Stapleton again is involved. And that's a good feed into the hands of Gawley, who can level the scores once again. And she does just that. 2 goals apiece early days in the match of the round. So again, Fraser. Good one. That was to Hermanson. Morrissey back to Hermanson. Comes inboard. Good one to Fraser. And Morrissey had a good start to this game. Has another look at the goals. So both defenders taken out. Morrissey takes full advantage. Gets the Demons back in front. 3 goals to 2 early days in the Rochford Wines match of the round. So good even start to this contest. Back in the centre with Carroll. Stapleton can go back to Carroll, and that's exactly what she does. Little underground feed works out for the moment. Comes back to Stapleton. Good defensive work there by Erin Mullen. And now Gawley. Clever little feed to Hargraves, who converts and again levels the scores. 3 goals apiece in the Rochford Wines match of the round. Fraser, Stenhouse, Fraser again. Up ahead to Morrissey, can go back to Stenhouse. Stenhouse did well. And now Hermanson can line them up, and Hermanson eventually gets it to drop, and again gets Powelltown back in front. 4 goals to 3 here at Belgrave Recreation Reserve. Stapleton got it from Carroll to Gawley. Quickly on to Hargraves. And there we go. Instant response for Belgrave. So nice clean passage of play there for the Magpies and scores a level again. Stenhouse got it from Fraser. Laterally on that occasion to Burns. Back to Stenhouse. Fraser. Good long feed, is it? And off hands, and first real turnover forced by either side here. So Iringa Bell goes out wide. Good one to Harlock Knight, was it? No, in fact, it was Weaver. Carroll. Good long drive. Erin Mullen does well. Got front position on Gawley. Knocks it out of play for the moment. Carroll. Laterally, Stenhouse did well. Got a hand in, but Carroll recovers it in the end. Gawley. Carroll. Good feed. And nice it under Hargraves, who converts. And gets the lead for the first time for Belgrave. So first lead change in the Rochford Wines match of the round. 5 goals to 4. So out it comes. Long drive there to Hargraves. Couple of 1-2. Stapleton. Good feed. And Hargraves converts back-to-back goals for Belgrave, who suddenly have a bit of a break. Hermanson. Burns. Stenhouse. Looks up ahead. Waits and waits. Comes back to Hermanson. Stenhouse, does he keep it in? Yes, very well done. Comes across. Hermanson. Cleverly done. Good feed to Morrissey, who converts. Gets one back for Powelltown. 6 goals to 5, the way of Belgrave. So Carroll, good feed and good positioning as well from Gawley. Got front spot, converts and gets Belgrave back out to a 2-goal difference. 7 goals to 5. Fraser again with the centre pass. Burns could go short to Stenhouse. Eventually that's what she does. Stenhouse As unfortunately coughed it up for Powelltown. Carroll got it from Gabel. Waits and waits. Probably got it away just in time. Stapleton. Good one to Harlock Knight. Long drive there from Weaver. And now Hargraves converts another opportunity. And Belgrave now out to a 3-goal margin, 8 goals to 5. So Carroll in the centre again. Stapleton. Harlock Knight back to Stapleton. Pops it over the top. Beautifully done there by Gawley. Eventually gets under her control. Doesn't convert, but recovered nicely there by Hargraves. And a good feed back to Gawley, who can make this a 4-goal difference for Belgrave. And eventually it drops for her. So 9 goals to 5. Belgrave now with a bit of a run on midway through this first quarter. Fraser out to Burns. Burns, long drive, good one as well to Stenhouse. Stenhouse waits and waits. Good feed, that was to Hermanson. Spilled it momentarily, but recovered, and Hermanson. Nicely done there by Weaver. Repels the initial attack. So Hermanson will go back to Stenhouse. Does well to Morrissey. Morrissey looks around, finds Stenhouse. Yeah, well done there by Hermanson, converts and gets one back for Powelltown, 9 goals to 6. So Carroll in the centre to Stapleton. Carroll over the top nicely to Gawley. Looked at Hargraves, comes back to Carroll, and then another opportunity, and Gawley converts. 10 goals to 6. Early days in the match of the round. Fraser, Stenhouse, back to Fraser. Laterally to Hermanson. She'll go back to Fraser. Again, Stenhouse is involved. Fraser, good feed. Morrissey with an opportunity for Powelltown. Doesn't convert, and Gabel does nicely. Good defensive work. Carroll quickly moves it on to Gawley. She goes out wide to Harlock Knight. Here is Stapleton. Little short feed is a good one. Burns loses her footing at the inopportune time. Carroll has Gawley in front, but goes a little bit further to Hargraves. Comes back to Carroll. Gawley. And this will stay with Belgrave. And nicely done there. Just chips it across, and Hargraves gets another look and converts and makes it a 5-goal difference for Belgrave. 11 goals to 6. So nicely done there. Carroll knocked away. Comes out of play, so Sterling comes on for the first time, replacing Fraser. Carroll. Opportunity for Gawley to make this a 6-goal difference, and she makes no mistake, 12 goals to 6. So Sterling with her first centre pass, laterally to Hermanson. Up ahead to Stenhouse. Stenhouse comes back to Sterland. Sterland again for Stenhouse. Morrissey. Sterland, Gabel with front spot, but Morrissey gets there first. Comes back to Sterland. Sterland, long drive, and it's a good one as well to Hermanson, who will have a look at the goals. Won't convert. Morrissey gets first hands to the rebound, and she does convert and gets one back for Powelltown. A much needed goal that was for the Demons, 12 goals to 7. Nearing the end of this first quarter in the Rochford Wines match of the round. Gawley nearly cut off, but unable to complete the job, was off. Hargraves converts and puts it back out to a 6-goal difference for Belgrave, 13 to 7. Sterland waits and eventually opts for Stenhouse. A long drive comes back to Sterland, puts it up. Gabel with front position. And very well done by Aaron Gabel. Wins that ball back for Belgrave. Gabel, long drive out of defence is a good one as well. Beautifully done on that occasion to Weaver. They're inside the attacking third now too. Carroll, short one. Good one it was too to Gawley. Now she looks for Hargraves. Nicely done by Off. Couldn't complete the job. Stapleton, Gawley. Gawley to make this a 7-goal difference for Belgrave, and she makes no mistake. 14 goals to 7. So back in the centre. Opportunity for Carroll. Goes short. Stapleton over the top, and beautifully done by Hargraves to keep that in play. Carroll goes out wide to Stapleton, and here is Hargraves again. Very clever by Naomi Hargraves, and she's rewarded with a goal. 15 to 7. 8-goal difference now for Belgrave. Stenhouse got it from Sterland. Stenhouse puts him inside the attacking third to Hermanson, eventually gets it under her control. This will come back to Stenhouse. Stenhouse feeds to Morrissey. Morrissey eventually gets it under her control and has a look at the goal. Doesn't convert off the foot, and this will eventually fall for Harlock Knight. Exiting the defensive third was Weaver for Belgrave. Harlock Knight again is involved. Comes across again to Weaver. Thought about Stapleton, but goes back to Harlock Knight. Now Carroll is involved. Comes across to Gawley. Inboard to Stapleton, and here is Hargraves with a bit of room out the back and converts another goal. Makes it 9 goals the difference, 16-7. So Carroll again in the centre. So Weaver doing it pretty well. Carroll, Gawley gets a look and beautifully done. Makes it a 10 goal difference now for Belgrave, 17-7. Stenhouse could have gone over the top to Morrissey, but goes short to Hermanson, who doesn't like this spot. Hermanson, cleverly done. Working in tandem there with Sterland, and Hermanson will get another opportunity. And unable to convert. So another win for the Belgrave defence. So Iringa Bell connects it for the Magpies. That's a long drive. It's a beautiful one as well to Weaver. Had plenty of room to work with. Finds Carroll in the attacking third. Stapleton waits and waits all the way across. It's a good one too to Gawley. Carroll. Gawley. And does well, finds Hargraves. And Hargraves can make this an 11 goal difference. And she makes no mistake, 18 goals to 7. So out it comes. Gawley back to Carroll. Gawley again. Gets herself into a good position and doesn't convert, but Hargraves is there to recover it, and she does convert, makes it a 12 goal difference, 19 goals to 7. Sterling goes out wide, finds Stenhouse. Stenhouse, long drive. And Gabell again had a really good game of defence. Carroll, Weaver, Stapleton, Harlock Knight, back to Stapleton, waits and waits. Finds Hargraves. Hargraves comes back to Stapleton. Stapleton puts it up and does nicely. Finds Hargraves, who's had a very strong first quarter. Converts another opportunity. Makes it 20 goals now for Belgrave, and they've got a 13 goal difference. So out they go. Quick one, good one as well. Here is Gawley. And anyone's ball to be won here. Will it be kept in play? Yes, beautifully done by Carroll. Good work rate. Recovered by Harlock Knight. Stapleton and Carroll all involved. And now Hargraves to finish off. And she does. 14 goals the difference now for Belgrave. 21-7. As we start to near quarter time. Sterland to Stenhouse. Here is Burns. Hermanson. Back to Stenhouse. Nicely done to Morrissey. She'll go back to Stenhouse, but no, it's turned over and Carroll wastes no time. Did well to Stapleton. Gawley back to Carroll. And finds Gawley, who can make this a 15 goal difference for Belgrave. And through the hands of Mullen. Hargraves gets another look. She makes no mistake. Makes it a 15 goal difference now for Belgrave. 22-7. Comes out wide. Carroll. Harlock Knight eventually gets it under her control. Nicely done. Back to Carroll. Over the top, and Gawley with plenty of room to work with. Has a look and converts another opportunity. 23 goals to 7. Sterland. Stenhouse. Sterland. It's going to stay with Powelltown. So they're 16 goals adrift at the moment of the Demons. Need to start making some inroads, and they're not going to be able to do that just yet. Weaver. And going to stay with Belgrave. Opportunity now for Hargraves, who can make this a 17 goal difference for Belgrave, and she does. 24 goals to 7. Carroll, Stapleton, back to Carroll. Looks up ahead, and that's a good feed to Hargraves. Makes it 18 goals the difference, 25 goals to 7. And this has been a domination by Belgrave in this first quarter. Stenhouse. Laterally to Burns. Onto her Manson. Comes back inboard for Stenhouse. Short one to Morrissey. And I think that is the end of the first quarter. So having an issue with 7. It's Anna Carroll with a centre pass. And run away. Gawley to Carroll. Good feed. Stenhouse, who's switched into goal defence, I believe, yes. And an early win here for Powelltown in defence. Mullen exits and goes to Shotter. Shotter, Mullen, Sterland, who started on the court in this second quarter, comes inboard here as Stenhouse. Goes out wide to Sterland. Good work rate here. So moving it nicely, Fraser, Hermanson. Hermanson can line them up, and this for the first goal of the second quarter for Powelltown. It's a good start for the Demons. 25 goals to 8. Matilda Fraser out of defence, finds Hermanson. Stenhouse, Fraser. Had Sterling, didn't go for it. Goes longer to Hermanson. This might work out here for the Demons. Fraser all the way across to Sterling. Got up at the right time. Hermanson out wide. Good one as well to Fraser. And Hermanson does well. Gets front spot and won't convert. Morrissey got a bit of contact. Said the umpire. So Hermanson. Oh, beautifully done by Carroll, was it? Yep. Picked the pocket of Sterling and Belgrave find themselves on the counter-attack. Harlock Knight wastes no time and finds Weaver. Weaver, long drive, good one. Stenhouse repels the initial attack. It's going to stay with Belgrave. Ball trickles out of play and the Magpies will continue to press. So Harlock Knight with an opportunity. Can put Belgrave inside the attacking third. Decides against that for the moment. Carroll, Stapleton, Weaver, back to Carroll. Stenhouse, beautifully done. Had a couple of good moments in the second quarter to start things off. Fraser has Sterling into the middle of the court, and that's where she goes. Now Stenhouse again is involved. Fraser, Stenhouse. Goes back to Fraser again. Just a couple of 1-2 passes here between Stenhouse and Fraser. Gets rid of it probably just in time. Hermanson, Morrissey, whose hand was it off? Off Gabel. So Belgrave maintain possession. And Morrissey gets a look at goal. This for back-to-back goals for the Demons. But well done by Weaver. Eventually gets the ball under her control. Gabel finds Carroll. Long drive up the court is a good one. Finds Gawley. Here is Harlock Knight. Can put Belgrave inside the attacking third. That's what she does. Gawley back to Carroll. Has Hargraves up ahead. So back it comes. It eventually under the control here of Weaver. Carroll. Now an opportunity for Gawley to push it back out to 18 goals. She won't convert, but rebounded nicely there by Hargraves, and she does convert and pushes it back out to an 18-goal difference. So 26 goals to 8. So it pops over the top. Here is Carroll. Comes back to Harlock Knight. Stapleton. Out wide to Gawley. Carroll wasn't expecting it, but didn't matter. Got under her control anyway. Couple of 1-2s. Maybe an opportunity for Hargraves. Stapleton. Good feed. And Hargraves will get a look. And she can make it 19 goals a difference, and she does. 27 goals to 8. Early days in the second quarter in the Rochford Wines match of the round. Fraser. Laterally to Shotter. Stenhouse. Goes back to Shotter and again to Stenhouse. Fraser. Waits and goes back to Stenhouse. Now Sterling is involved. Goes out wide. Good one as well to Hermanson. Fraser can go back to Hermanson. That's what she does. And that's a good feed to Morrissey. Got a bit of contact from Weaver. And Morrissey converts and gets one back for Powelltown. So back to 18 goals a difference. 27 goals to 9. So long drive over the top. Carroll comes inboard. Stapleton goes out wide. Comes across. Here is Carroll. Gawley. Stapleton. Hargraves. And Hargraves converts and pushes it back out to a 19-goal difference. 28 goals to 9. Beautifully cut up by Carroll, so Belgrave on the counter-attack. Stapleton. Carroll puts him inside the attacking third. Here is Gawley. Stapleton, short one. Here is Hargraves. And Powelltown with a little reprieve in defence. So ball comes into the hands of Vera Mullen. She'll go short. Comes back to Mullen. Up the court to Shotter. Laterally to Fraser. Fraser finds Sterland, who spilled it. And she's turned it over, so it's going to come into the hands of Kim Harlock-Knight. Short pass, good one to Carroll. Comes across to Weaver. Weaver finds Stapleton. Stapleton out wide to Gawley. Gawley, Carroll. Now Stapleton feeds it back to Gawley and does well to get it to Hargraves, who can make this a 20-goal difference, and she does. 29 goals to 9 the way Belgrave. So Carroll, Gawley, Stapleton. Gawley comes back to Stapleton. Good defensive work from Mullen. So stays with Belgrave. Gawley with another look at goal. Mullen, beautifully done by Erin Mullen. Fantastic interception. Finds Shotter. Comes back to Mullen from Fraser. Stenhouse goes inboard and again finds Fraser. Stenhouse did well, got up at the right time. Hermanson. Fraser looks at Sterling and that's where she'll go. Sterling goes back, but beautifully cut off now by Carroll. So a couple of interceptions and now Belgrave on the counter-attack. Harlock-Knight goes back to Carroll. Looked at Stapleton. Long drive and goes beyond Stapleton into the hands of Gawley. Back to Stapleton. Gawley, Carroll. And here is Hargraves with another look at goal and doesn't convert, but Gawley with a rebound. Wind just playing a bit of havoc here. Well, these shots at goals just picked up a bit, but won't matter in the end for Gawley. She will convert, and she will make it a 21-goal difference for Belgrave. So Fraser with the centre pass. Out to Sterling, short to Stenhouse. Fraser, long drive, beautifully done there by Weaver. So Belgrave again find themselves in the counter-attack. Long drive is a good one. Into the hands of Gawley. Gawley comes inboard. Here is Harlock-Knight onto Carroll. Burns comes back onto the court here for Powelltown. Now Stapleton is involved, and she finds Hargraves. And she makes it a 22-goal difference for the Magpies, 31 goals to 9. Carroll onto Stapleton. Stapleton goes laterally and finds Harlock-Knight. It'll go back to Stapleton. Stenhouse with a clever one-handed interception. Shot her back on the court. Here is Sterling. Long drive, pops it over the top to Hermanson. Goes short to Morrissey. Morrissey. Oh, Carroll. Stepped offside. So a reprieve for Powelltown. So Burns has moved into centre. So a few positional changes here for Powelltown. Burns, Stenhouse. Burns does nicely. Here is Sterling, long drive, good one as well to Hermanson. Comes back to Burns, good feed to Hermanson. Will she have a look at goal? No. Knocked away by Weaver. Does it stay in play? Gabel did well to keep it in. Who wins the foot race? Carroll did keep it in. Absolute chaos ball. Over on the far side of the court and back into the hands of Shotter. Short pass, good one, Sterling. So they work it around to the Demons. Burns, Hermanson, back to Burns, and then Hermanson again is involved and does well to get it to Morrissey. She can make a back-to-back goals for the Demons. No, doesn't fall for her. Sterling, can she keep the ball in play? Yes, she can. Did well to Shotter. She finds Burns. Here is Stenhouse right on his measure. Comes back to Burns. Hermanson. No call for stepping, was Burns. So Belgrave can counter-attack. Weaver. Long drive up the court is a good one. Gawley, Stapleton, out wide to Carroll. Carroll, good one, and Hargraves. Good strong hands, converts the opportunity and pushes it back out to a 22-goal difference for Belgrave. 32 goals to 10. Carroll, Stapleton, back to Carroll. Comes across, nicely done. Hargraves, no, Mullen, beautifully done, Erin Mullen. A couple of clever interceptions in their second quarter. Hermanson. Hermanson, Stenhouse, Burns, back to Stenhouse. Long drive, knocked away by Weaver, but beautifully recovered by Hermanson, and now Morrissey will get a look. So they've done that pretty well, Powelltown, and they make it a 21-goal difference, 32 goals to 11. So Shotter in the centre. Here is Shotter. Can she get it to Morrissey? No, coughed it up, unfortunately, for Powelltown, and Belgrave can exit defence. Weaver did it well. Comes back to Weaver. Stapleton. Nicely done here And now into the hands of Hargraves, who could make this a 22-goal difference, won't convert the opportunity. So Aaron Mullen, Stenhouse, back to Mullen. Beautifully done, Stenhouse. Oh, cleverly done by Stenhouse. How about that? Beautiful passage of play there from Powelltown. Very clean. And Morrissey completes the job. Gets one back for the Demons. 32 goals to 12. In the Rochford Wines match of the round. Gawley, Stapleton. Gawley again involved. Out wide now, Carroll. Gawley for a better third time in this passage through hands. Mullen nearly snatches it back for Powelltown, but unable to complete the job. Stenhouse, though, does nicely off the rebound through the hands of shot up. Stapleton, clever one-hand pick up and finds Hargraves. That's a good feed, and Hargraves will push this right back out to a 21-goal difference, 33 goals to 12. As we start to near half-time in the Rochford Wines match of the round. Shotter comes back, again in the hands of Shotter. Sterland. Long drive, Weaver, got a hand in. And again, Belgrave can counter-attack. So opportunity now for Weaver. Stapleton pops it over the top here for Carroll. Nicely done, Gawley. And Gawley converts and makes it a 22-goal difference, 34 goals to 12. Stapleton did it well. Stenhouse, nicely done. Finds Sterling. Sterling will come inboard. Works out pretty well for the moment. Comes back to Stenhouse. Stenhouse, Shotter. Hermanson, back to Shotter. Carroll trying to cut it off, unable to do so. Now Hermanson can get one back for the Demons. Beautifully done. Converts the opportunity. 34 goals to 13. Still the way Belgrave. So Shotter with the centre pass through the hands of Sterling. Eventually kept it in. Puts them inside the attacking third. Shotter looking for Morrissey. Collected it nicely, Morrissey, and just goes short to Hermanson. Hermanson will not convert, but Morrissey gets it back for Powelltown. And this time she does convert. Back-to-back goals for the Demons. 34 goals to 14. So Carroll did nicely. Stapleton, long drive. Good one, too, to Gawley. Stenhouse. Beautifully done by Oliver Stenhouse. What a second quarter he's had. Sterland puts them inside the attacking third. A bit of an awkward one, but Stenhouse. Sterland. Will Shotter get there? No, she won't. Gabel up the court, nicely done. Now into the hands of Weaver. Weaver can put Belgrave inside their attacking third. Stapleton. Carroll. Goes back to Stapleton, looking for Gawley. Stenhouse got a hand in, but couldn't quite pluck it. And beautifully done there by Hargrave. She converts the goal. Gets it back to 21 goals a difference, 35 goals to 14. Shot up. Gawley. Stapleton. And that works out pretty well. And Hargraves converts, gets it back out to a 22-goal difference for Belgrave, 36 goals to 14. Stapleton, Gawley, back to Stapleton. Yeah, beautifully done there. Gawley can make this 23 goals a difference, 37 goals to 14. Biggest lead of the game here for Belgrave. Shot up. Sterling, inboard to Stenhouse. Morrissey, all the way across, but put a bit too much on it. So Belgrave again with an opportunity to counter-attack. Gabel out of defence. Nearly an opportunity for Hermanson to cut it off. Weaver, Stapleton, Carroll. Hargraves up ahead, that's where she goes. Nearly for Aaron Mullen, but couldn't finish off the job. Hargraves, Stenhouse, beautifully done. And again, Powelltown connects at their defensive third. Here is Sterland. Puts them inside the attacking third for the Demons. Hermanson, beautifully done by Weaver. We'll stay with Powelltown. Sterland Put a bit too much on it. Can Manson keep it in? Yes, she can, but she's put it straight into the hands of Carroll. So again, Belgrave can counter-attack. Harlock Knight did well. Gawley, Stenhouse again. Beautifully done. Sterland, Stenhouse, Morrissey, Hermanson lines them up. Won't convert. Morrissey. Good rebound, and she does convert and gets one back for Powelltown. 37 goals to 15. And that is half time here in the Rochford Wides match of the round. Belgrave with a sizable 22-goal. Third quarter of their Rochford Wides match of the round between Belgrave and Powelltown. 37 goals to 15 is the score. Belgrave currently in their attacking third, and an early opportunity for Naomi Hargraves, and she makes no mistake. 23 goals the difference. On the way of the Magpies, 38 goals to 15. And they're on the counter-attack again here, Belgrave. Straight into the hands of Stapleton. Gawley, Carroll. And Hargraves again. This to make it 24 goals the difference. And a couple of quick goals to start off here for Belgrave. 39 goals to 15. And Anna Carroll has the centre pass, so they can go again. Gawley. So Stapleton. Gawley back to Stapleton. Stenhouse, good bit of defensive work. Will stay with Belgrave, however. So Carroll, bit of a look away passes. Good one too to Gawley. Stapleton will go back to Gawley, who can potentially push this out to a 25-goal difference. Doesn't convert, but Hargraves will convert and make it 25 goals the difference. 40 goals to 15 the other way, Belgrave. So Sterland again out of the centre. Finds Hermanson. Laterally to Stenhouse. Sterland. Stenhouse puts him inside the attacking third. Here is Hermanson. Morrissey eventually gets it under her control and can get one back here for the Demons, and she does. 40 goals to 16. So it comes out wide. Gawley. Weaver. Into the hands of Stapleton, and here is Hargraves. Carroll involved and feeds it back to Hargraves, and no, doesn't convert. And here's an opportunity now for Powelltown to counter-attack. Sterling got it from Stenhouse. Long drive. Fraser couldn't collect it in the one hand, but she's recovered nicely. She comes back to Stenhouse. Looked at Sterling, but retreats to Mullen. Stenhouse finds Burns. Burns over the top to Fraser, but into the hands of Carroll. And now Belgrave can counter-attack. Harlock Knight, Stapleton, laterally to Carroll. Short to Gawley. Gawley looks around and then comes back to Carroll. Bit of a look away one is a good one too to Stapleton. Gawley, Carroll, good one. And Hargraves with another opportunity to get it back to 25 goals. Stenhouse knocks it away, but straight back into the hands of Carroll. Gawley lines him up again. Kept in by Hargraves. Stapleton gathers it. Carroll, Gawley. Little look away feed, good one too. Hargraves with another opportunity, and this time she converts. 41 goals to 16. Beautifully done. So Sterland, Stenhouse. Gabel just gives away contact. Morrissey converts and gets one back for Powelltown. 41 goals to 17. Stapleton looks around through hands. So they continue to work around. Stenhouse knocks it away. So nicely done by Gawley. Cross to Hargraves, who converts and gets it back out to a 25-goal difference. 42 goals to 17. Sterland to Hermanson. Across to Burns, through the hands of Sterland, and it'll trickle out of play. And Belgrave again can counter-attack. So Gabel out of defence. Weaver, beautifully collected in the one hand. Stapleton. Bit of a wild feed, and Era Mullen can get Powelltown into defence. Finds Sterling. Stenhouse eventually gets it under his control. Out it wide and comes to Fraser, and unfortunately through her hands. And Harlock Knight can now counter-attack for Belgrave. Goes laterally to Weaver. Gawley looks around, eventually finds Carroll over the top, and nearly for Hargraves. Mullen eventually tracks it down. So Era Mullen does well. Burns, Stenhouse, Mullen. Back to Sterling, back to Mullen. Burns, good long drive up the court, nicely done. Into the hands of Fraser. Sterling. Stenhouse, right on his measure. Finds Hermanson. Comes out wide. Fraser again is involved. Good feed to Hermanson. He'll get a look at goal here. But unfortunately for Powelltown, does not convert. So Gabel out of defence. Weaver spilled it momentarily. Eventually, though, offloads and does it nicely too here to Carroll. Gawley, Stapleton. Back to Gawley. And a bit of contact there given away by Mullen. And Gawley will get a look at goal here. Just offline. Stenhouse, Mullen. Anyone's ball here. Sterling eventually gets out of her control. So Powelltown now can counter-attack. Sterling looks around, long drive. Oh, beautifully done by Weaver. Very clean interception. Stapleton with a long drive into the hands of Gawley. Finds Hargraves. And this to put it out to 26 goals the difference. And Hargraves makes no mistake. 43 goals to 17. Carroll has the centre pass. Gawley, Stapleton just puts it up for Hargraves and just triggers out of play. So a reprieve for Era Mullen and Powelltown. Sterling comes back to Mullen. Now Stenhouse out wide to Burns. Burns waits and eventually goes to Fraser. She'll go back to Burns. Short one to Sterling. Sterling laterally to Burns. Hermanson. Morrissey. Ooh, pass just had a little bit too much on it. So again, Belgrave can exit the defensive third. Weaver is the option and eventually gets it under her control. Harlock Knight to Gawley. Back to Harlock Knight. Puts him inside the attacking third. Oh, a couple of nervous moments there for Carroll, but eventually got it under her control. Now an opportunity for Hargraves to make it 27 goals the difference. Stenhouse knocks it away. Stapleton, oh no. Hargraves losing her footing at the wrong time. Gawley. Not that there's a right time, but that was a particularly inopportune time. But anyway, Powelltown now can exit defence. Stenhouse got it from Burns. Stenhouse goes laterally. Oh no, the pass though, not a very good one. And again, Powelltown on the, Belgrave in fact on the counter-attack. Stapleton. Carroll. Gawley. Comes across, and here is Hargraves, and she does make it 27 goals the difference, 44 goals to 17. Sterling. Hermanson. Stenhouse, back to Hermanson. And turn it over again here. Gawley gets it under her control. She'll go back to Carroll. She'll go back to Gawley. Now Hargraves goes across to Stapleton. Short one to Carroll, and Hargraves again, this to make it 28 goals the difference. Stenhouse though. Beautiful rebound into the hands of Burns. She'll go back to Stenhouse. Stenhouse across to Sterling. Sterling will go back to Stenhouse, but falls into the hands of Stapleton. Into Hargraves. She converts, makes it 28 goals the difference, 45 goals to 17. So Gawley, Stenhouse got a hand in, but it's going to stay with Belgrave. It'll come back to Gawley. Stapleton. Gawley lines them up and tap back in play beautifully there by Hargraves. Gawley gets another look. Stenhouse, though, picks her pocket and gets it to Shotter, who's just come back onto the court. Stenhouse exit the defensive third for Powelltown. Here is Fraser. Back to Stenhouse. Can put him inside the attacking third. Goes short to Fraser. Oh, sorry, Burns, in fact, it was. Shotter onto Morrissey. And now Belgrave can counter-attack again. Carroll goes out wide. Stenhouse off the hand of Harlock Knight. So Ollie Stenhouse had a pretty good game today for Powelltown. Shotter goes short to Fraser. She spilled it though, and again Belgrave can counter-attack. So Gabel wastes no time to Harlock Knight. Finds Carroll, puts him inside the attacking third here to Gawley. Comes back to Stapleton. And Gawley, with plenty of room to work with, can make this a 29-goal difference. Won't convert, but Hargraves will recover it. And Naomi Hargraves does convert, 46 goals to 17. Shotter did well. Hermanson has turned it straight over, and Belgrave again on the counter-attack. Stapleton goes across to Carroll, comes back to Stapleton, short to Hargraves. Back to Carroll. Here is Gawley out wide. Can make this a 30-goal difference. No, Stenhouse Did well off the rebound, shot up. Finds Hermanson. Now Stenhouse puts him inside the attacking third to Fraser. Fraser laterally to Burns. Back to Fraser. Could go short to Shotter, but goes back to Hermanson. Looks for Morrissey and turned it over. Well done by Weaver. Long drive is a good one to Stapleton. She'll get it to Gawley. Gawley will pop it over the top, and here is Hargraves. And she does make it 30 goals the difference. 47 goals to 17. So Stapleton. Bit of an errant pass and trickles out of play. Gawley not too concerned about it. So it comes into the hands of Aaron Mullen. Mullen could have gone across to Burns, but goes to Shotter. Mullen finds Burns. Burns did well. Shotter. Fraser spilled it momentarily, but recovers it. Gets it back to Shotter. Morrissey, Shotter. Couple of 1-2 passes between those two, and now Morrissey will line up the goals and she'll convert. 47 goals to 18, the way Powelltown. Oh, sorry, the way Belgrave, in fact. Shotter, Fraser. Does well to get it to Hermanson. Hermanson all the way across to Fraser. Fraser, short one to Hermanson. Weaver knocks it out of play. Fraser does it well, and here is Hermanson. And back-to-back goals there for Powelltown, so Morrissey converts 47 goals to 19. So they work it around. Weaver, Gawley, Carroll, Stenhouse. And it's going to go Powelltown's way, so just a little bit of momentum here for the Demons. Good couple of minutes. Stenhouse. Mullen. Does well to Shotter. Good one it was, Stenhouse. Hermanson was involved, so too was Shotter, but Weaver does well. Good interception. And now Belgrave once again can counter-attack. Weaver. Stapleton holds strong. Gawley goes across to Hargraves. This to push it back out to 29 goals the difference, and she does just that, 48 goals to 19. So Shotter again with a centre pass. Hermanson, Stenhouse. Finds Morrissey, and ball triggers out of play once again. Morrissey lines him up. And Morrissey converts. Gets one back for Powelltown. 48 goals to 20 the way of Belgrave. So Carroll goes out wide. Into the hands once again of Carroll. Goes back to Stapleton. Stapleton to Carroll to Gawley. And Gawley could get it back to 29 goals difference, but won't do so. The pass from Burns, a bit errant. Goes out of play, and Belgrave again can counter-attack. So this is Harlock Knight. Finds Weaver, right on a measure here. Long drive, but straight into the hands of Stenhouse. So Powelltown again can counter-attack. Fraser goes laterally, finds Burns, short to Hermanson. Hermanson, Stenhouse, Shotter. Did well to Hermanson. Fraser. And now once again Belgrave on the counter-attack. So Carroll over the top to Weaver. Faked a pass and then found Stapleton. Stapleton over the top beautifully to Harlock Knight. Is that going to be kept in play by Carroll? Just. But then eventually does trickle out of play and will stay with Belgrave. It's another opportunity here for Carroll. Goes out wide. Stenhouse. Mullen, Stenhouse. Back to Mullen, long drive. Mullen called for Hermanson to go at it. Weaver. Waits and waits. Stapleton waits around. Carroll. Gawley. And Mullen cuts it off. Finds Burns onto Hermanson. Goes laterally to Stenhouse. Stenhouse. Fraser. Puts it into the goal circle, but they've turned it over. Gabel. Here's an opportunity now for Weaver. Puts him inside the attacking third to Carroll. And here is Hargraves. And didn't get to it in time, so that is three-quarter time here, and the Rochford Wines match the round. Final quarter action of the Rochford Wines match the round here between Belgrave and Powelltown. It's still in with the centre pass. And inside the attacking third go Powelltown. And early goal there in the last quarter for Powelltown, back to 27 goals the difference. So Belgrave inside the attacking third. Gawley all the way back to Gabel, who's moved into goal defence for this last quarter. And here is Hargraves. Stenhouse. All the way across to Sterland. Sterland back to Stenhouse. Finds Fraser. Good feed to Morrissey, who can get one back for the Demons. And she does, 49 goals to 22. So a good start this to the last quarter for Powelltown. Carroll, Stapleton. Stapleton back to Carroll. And here is an opportunity again for Hargraves. And here's goal number 50 for Belgrave. Back out to a 28 goal difference. Hermanson. Morrissey, knocked away. And Hermanson converts, gets one back for the Demons, 50 goals to 23. Stapleton to Hargraves. As they work it around, Gawley will have a look to push this back out to a 28 goal difference. Might convert, and Stenhouse does well, and Powelltown on the counter attack. Sterling, ball comes off the hands of Carroll. So inside the attacking third go the Demons, but straight into the hands of Oren Gabel. Here is Stapleton. Bit of a look away pass, is a good one too to Carroll. Stapleton goes out wide, finds Gawley. Inboard now, or through the hands of Carroll, but it'll work out okay in the end. Carroll, Stenhouse, beautifully done. Powelltown again on the counter attack. Opportunity for Fraser, Stenhouse. Hermanson back to Stenhouse. Here is Fraser. Sterland, Morrissey, and Hermanson. Fraser, a couple of 1-2s. So here they go. Stapleton to Gawley. Carroll goes back to Gawley. Stapleton and now Hargraves pushes it back out to a 28 goal difference, 51 goals to 23. So again for Sterland. Hermanson, a long drive. Here is Morrissey. So Morrissey with the opportunity here and eventually gets it to drop and gets it back down to 27 goals a difference, 51 goals to 24 here. Still the way Belgrave. Stapleton to Harlock Knight. Gawley. Carroll. And cut off, here we go. So Powelltown on the counter-attack. Sterling gets them moving to Hermanson. Now an opportunity for Fraser. Back to Hermanson, short to Sterland. Nearly cut off there by Weaver. And now Morrissey can get this back to 26 goals here if she shoots truly, and she does. So 51 goals to 25. So Sterling with another centre pass and goes out to Manson. Spills in front of her, but regathers it eventually, but she's turned it over into the hands of Weaver. So Belgrave on the counter-attack. Carroll, Stapleton. Back to Carroll. So Gawley gets a look and she converts. Back to 27 goals the difference the way of Belgrave. 52 goals to 25. Stapleton, Gawley and Hargraves. Doesn't have the look at goal, and now Powelltown can counter-attack. They force a turnover, but they've coughed it straight up, so Gabel puts them back inside the attacking third. Stapleton got it from Gawley, then goes back to Gawley. Looks around. Short pass, good one, and here is an opportunity now. And Hargraves makes no mistake. Pushes it out to 28 goals the difference, 53 goals to 25. Sterland, Fraser, back to Stenhouse. Stenhouse, Burns called for it, wasn't honoured. Gabel, Harlock Knight, short, Carroll. So they work it around here to Belgrave. Hargraves gets a look and converts the opportunity. 54 goals to 25. Carroll, Stapleton, Gawley does well. Just to push it back out to 30 goals the difference. Naomi Hargraves with a second opportunity, and she does convert. 55 goals to 25 the way of Belgrave. So Sterland onto Stenhouse. Hermanson, Morrissey kept it in, got it back to Hermanson, who will get a look, and Hermanson doesn't convert, and Weaver did well, and Belgrave again on the counter-attack. Gabel, long drive, good one too to Harlock Knight. Does nicely. Gawley wants Hargraves and eventually gets it to her. It's a good feed, and Hargraves makes it a 31 goal difference, 56 goals to 25. So here they go again. Hargraves to make it 32 goals the difference. And eventually she does just that, 57 goals to 25. And the Magpies continue to run away with this game. Sterland nearly cut off by Carroll, unable to complete the job though. Long drive, but through the hands of Morrissey. Ball trickles out of play. So off comes back on the court. Sterland exits the defence here for Powelltown. Here is off. And does well, gets it to Morrissey. And Morrissey can get one back here for the Demons. And she does, 57 goals to 26. So Anna Carroll does well. Stapleton, good one. Here is Hargraves. And she pushes it right back out to 32 goals the difference, 58 goals to 26. Sterland, laterally, good one. Burns to off. Long drive and knocked away by Weaver momentarily. Here we go. Stapleton comes inboard. Gawley, Carroll. Short to Hargraves, comes back to Carroll. Gawley again is involved. Has a look at goal here and won't convert, and Stenhouse does well. Definitely one of the standout players for Powelltown today, Oliver Stenhouse. Fraser. Back to Stenhouse. Stenhouse puts him inside the attacking third. Sterland. Morrissey, no, won't get it. And here is Gabel. Short to Carroll. Long drive out of the defensive third and finds Harlock Knight. Stapleton over the top to Gawley. Short to Hargraves. And Hargraves won't quite collect it. Mullen. Finds Stenhouse. Back to Mullen. Fraser. Goes laterally. Stenhouse, long drive into that goal circle, but through the hands of Off. So Weaver out of defence to Gabel. Carroll. Gawley. Harlock Knight. Stapleton. And here is Fraser. Gets a look at goal and converts. 59 goals to 27. An opportunity now to make it 33 goals here for Belgrave. Stapleton, Gawley. Back to Carroll. Into the goal circle. Gawley goes out wide to Stapleton. Stapleton. Gawley lines them up. This for goal number 60 for Belgrave. And she makes no mistake. 60 goals to 27 for the Magpies. And what's been a pretty dominant display. So Stenhouse just puts it up for Morrissey, spills it, but recovered by Fraser, and Morrissey will get another look. And Morrissey unable to convert, but maybe Off. He's recovered it from the other side. No, clever feed. Back to Morrissey. And eventually, no. This time Morrissey converts. 60 goals to 28. Carroll. Stapleton, Sterling cuts it off beautifully. So again, Belgrave on the counter-attack. Fraser to Off, and then to Burns. Back to Off, comes inboard. Fraser, Morrissey. No, beautifully cut off by Weaver. Or did she give away contact? She's given away contact, so an opportunity again for Powelltown. Morrissey back to Fraser. This for back-to-back goals here for the Demons, and Morrissey makes no mistake, 60 goals to 29. So Sterling, Stenhouse and Off, and back to Off. And straight into the hands of Weaver. So again, Belgrave on the counter-attack, but no, Stenhouse forced an interception. Powelltown on the counter-attack. Off, Sterling. Weaver again, though, beautifully done. Belgrave once again on the counter-attack. Stapleton, contact given away by Burns. Gabel. Carroll, Hargraves. Looks to be okay. And that ball trickles out of play. Weaver. Stapleton to Carroll. And Hargraves converts. Back out to a 32-goal difference for Belgrave. 61 goals to 29. So Carroll with a centre pass. Gawley, Hargraves, back to Carroll, Gawley, Carroll, and well done by Hargraves. Nicely collected in the one hand. She converts. Back to 33 goals the difference, 62 goals to 29. So again, Sterling with a centre pass. Goes laterally to Burns. Burns, Fraser. Goes back to Sterling. Sterling out wide to Off. Off, Morrissey keeps it in, goes back to Off. She'll go short back to Sterling. Sterling now to Off. And here is Morrissey. Can she make it 30 goals for Powelltown? She can. 62 goals to 30. Stapleton over the top to Carroll. And beautifully done. Into the hands of Hargraves. Another goal for Naomi Hargraves. Back to 33 goals the difference. 63 to 31. The way of Belgrave. Stenhouse, beautifully done. Off. Little feed. Nicely done. And Morrissey gets another look and knocked away by Weaver. And again, Belgrave find themselves on the counter-attack. Stapleton wants to get it moving quickly, but comes back to Gabel. Stapleton, Carroll, Gawley, Hargraves. Beautifully done there by Belgrave. And Hargraves converts yet another one. 63 to 30. Through the hands of Stapleton. I think she might have just stepped offside. Powelltown on the counter-attack. Fraser onto Stenhouse. Stenhouse inboard to Burns. Finds Off. Goes out wide. Here is Sterling. She gets it to Morrissey. Got front position on Gabel. Morrissey gets one back for Powelltown. 63 to 31. Stapleton. Carroll. And here is Gawley. And Gawley gets one back for Belgrave. (64-31). Hargraves makes it 65-31. 34 goals the difference. So Sterland nearly cut off here for Belgrave, but Sterland recovers it for Powelltown off Fraser. Morrissey, no, beautifully done by Weaver. Here they go again, Belgrave in the counter-attack, and that will do us in the Rochford Wines match of the round here at Belgrave Recreation Reserve. And a dominant display here by the Magpies sees them win by 34 goals. 65-31 was the final score. And we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to Game Face's coverage of the Rochford Wines match of the round here in the A-grade netball between Belgrave and Powelltown. Don't forget, at 2:20 p.m, we will have the footy between Belgrave and Powelltown available to you through the local